All right, welcome to our class today. We are, well, the theme today really is about, I've heard a lot of people saying how guilty they feel for not getting much done during this time. And I have to say, if that's the case with you, let that go. I'm shocked at how little I'm getting done some days and how much time I seem to have but don't have. And it's not vacation, right? This is not time off just to do what we want. This is a fairly stressful time, and even if you're enjoying it sometimes, and that's fine too, right? I've heard people feeling guilty because they feel good that this is fine for them. So whatever is going on for you, let it be. And if you feel like doing nothing, do nothing, right? And do it really consciously, right? So sometimes we do nothing, but in the back of our mind, we're like, I should be doing this or I should be doing that. But see if there are days when you feel like doing nothing, maybe set a timer and just do nothing. You can really do nothing for 10 minutes or half an hour or whatever it takes to just let that out of your system a little bit. Or maybe it's all day. Maybe you just want to stay in your PJs. Maybe you have been. But it's okay, right? We need to be kind to ourselves right now, and we need to be kind to one another always, but especially because we are only really with ourselves and maybe a few select, hopefully loved ones. We've got to be kind to ourselves now more than ever. And if not, it's just going to be a really, really long time of isolation. So be kind to yourself. It's okay to feel like crap. It's okay to do nothing. It's okay to be ridiculously keeping yourself busy, to keep your mind occupied. All of that. It's cool. It's good. So we're going to get some movement going. Maybe you've been moving more because you have more time off. Maybe you've been moving less, but we're going to get the juices flowing today. So we'll start in a standing position so you can make your way there to your mat. And I'm going to just move the screen down a little bit, or sorry, move it up a bit so that more of me gets in the picture here. So coming to your mat, finding your feet in Tadasana or mountain pose. Let your weight sink back into your heels a little and then rock a little forward to the balls of your feet. And rock back. Feel how your thighs engage as you rock back. Tend to release as you rock forward. And then find a position where you're comfortable with the weight a little more into the heels, not completely, just a little bit more weight in the heels so you feel your legs strong, feel your foundation strong. Imagine your hips lining up over your heels. Right, so from the side, hips over heels, rather than weight on the toes, hips forward of the heels. So weight is back, shoulders over the hips, and your ears roughly lining up with your shoulders. And for many, that means to bring the chin slightly back and then relax everything. Just give it a little shake out and then come back to stillness. So we want to find a relaxed, easeful, but alert position here in mountain pose. You can wiggle your toes around a little bit and find some movement in your feet. Well, let's take the hands together. You can close your eyes if you like, or if that makes you feel a little off balance, just look down towards either your fingertips or the floor. Making a commitment to be kind to yourself as much as possible through the practice. And if you find yourself being critical or judging, checking out, anything that feels a little less easeful to you, letting that go and finding your way back to self-kindness as much as possible. Some days it's really hard, right? So doing our best, and let's release the hands. We'll take a breath in and lift the arms up. Find a little lift in the heart. And then exhale, bring the arms down. Let the knees bend a little. Let the upper back round and the arms come to hang down. And then we'll lift Stretching up, finding that lift in the heart. Good, and then exhale, little slump. So you're bending your knees, letting your back round, head come down, and then lifting. Breathing in as you lift, breathing out as you come down. Good. And let's stay for a few breaths in this lifted position. Weight in your heels, hips over the heels. Any lift here is coming through the chest, shoulder blades drawing slightly down. Good. And then we'll release the arms, bend the knees slightly, and come into that little bit of slumped position. Rounding the upper back, head down, knees soft. And then let's inhale again and find that lift in the heart. And this time we'll keep that lift in the heart, hinge at the hips and come into a forward bend. Exhaling as you go forward, let your head release, keep your knees soft, and then inhale with a long spine lifting up. And we'll repeat that again, exhaling, long spine. Use your legs, keep the spine nice and long to work the muscles of the legs and the back. Try to let your head release at the end of that forward bend so you're not carrying tension through with your neck. Right, let's add the half forward bend now, so coming forward. Inhale, either hands to your shins, or if you want to work harder, out to the sides or overhead, and then exhale forward. So again, inhale halfway or so up, exhale forward. You want to come to a position where the spine is a little arched, not rounded, so the tail and chest are lifting. And next time you come into the forward bend, feel free to stay. So you can take any variation you like. Could be elbows on the thighs here, it could be arms dangling or crossed. You could add a bit of movement, swaying side to side if you like. Finding the position that works for you, and wherever you are, again, try to relax your head. When we're in a little bit of crisis mode and hypervigilance, we tend to always want to, be seeing what's going on around us. And as long as you feel safe in the space that you're in, let your head release. Right, and then we'll come all the way up with a breath in. And exhale, arms down to your sides. So start to work a little bit with balance. So just shifting your weight to one foot, bringing the other knee up and then down, as if you're walking, sort of marching on the spot. Just checking in with how your balance feels today. Right, and then hold the leg there. You can either work a little bit more with your hip flexors here and hold the leg without holding on, or if you like, you can reach and hold onto the leg. And if you're reaching to hold on, make sure that you're not sort of tucking under to hold on. So you want to keep the spine nice and long, and that might mean holding on a little lower or keeping the leg lower. And then we'll try the other side. So you can keep your toes on the ground if that's where you need to be, or lift a little, or if you can, lift in a little higher. Right, and then release. I think we stayed on the first side a little bit longer. Let's take the feet a bit wider now. You can bring your hands to your hips and do a few circles. So circle one direction and then try a few circles the other way as well. Right, and come back to the center. Bring your feet back in. So we'll work with a little bit of a series to begin with here. And if you have blocks and you want to use them, or toilet paper rolls do work for this purpose as well, or whatever you've got handy, but you may or may not use the blocks. I'll give options to do it either way. But if you want blocks and you have them, I'm thinking I should just lend out the blocks at the studio, wipe them down with sanitizer and send them out into the world since they're not being used. But I don't think that's probably the wisest. So near the front of your mat, Blocks if you want them, have them. Again, sink down into your heels a little, feel that sense of being grounded. And I have to laugh now every time I say that because we're all literally grounded in our homes. But to feel yourself connected to the earth. Good. And from here, let's take the arms up, breathing in. As you exhale, bring one knee in towards your body. Again, you don't want to round to make that happen, so just lifting any amount. Could be right in or a little lower. Foot down, arms up. We'll do the other side. And let's follow this pattern for a few breaths. So inhale, lift, exhale, in. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, knee in, hands down. One more on each side. And then this time we'll come back to the first side. For me, it's the right leg. It could be the left for you. And then from there, we're going to take a small step back to warrior. So not a huge step in warrior, somewhere fairly moderate. Finding the position that feels comfortable to you, where you can really feel grounded, where this back foot is really on the ground. So if we go too far back, when we start to bend the front knee, we have to lift the back heel. So find that nice, really sturdy balance or position here. And then we'll lift with the breath in. And we're going to come forward with an exhale. So it could be hands to the knee or the shin or blocks or ground. Let your head release. And then inhale, lift. So let's do this a few times here as we warm up the legs, the back. Next time you come upright, stay upright. Draw the shoulders down a little. We're going to step onto the front foot. Bring the back leg up and through, in towards your body. And then arms down, leg down, arms up. Breathing in, exhale, arms down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, other knee in. Again, stepping back to a nice, easy stance. And we'll move from the upright warrior to a forward bend. You can move the front leg a little straighter if you like, but also maybe more than enough stretch for you with that knee bent. So you're inhaling up, exhaling forward, staying really connected to the earth through your feet. So pressing into the back leg, strong legs. Next time you come up, stay upright. And again, shoulders relax down a little bit. Think about drawing just a little bit the ribs and hips together in the front, not so that you're tucking under, but just finding a little engagement in the core. And then we'll step onto the front foot, bring the back knee forward and in. And then lower the foot down, reach your arms overhead. And we'll exhale into a forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend, either hands to shins or to the sides. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, lift all the way up. And you're going to bring the first knee back into the chest again as you exhale. Step back, warrior one. Again, keep it on the moderate side. Good. Exhale, bring your arms out to the sides. And here we're going to step onto the front foot and lift the chest a little. And then lift the back leg a little if that's available to you. You can always keep your foot on the ground and just engage as if you were going to lift. If you want a little bit more, raise the arms up, lift the leg and lift the chest a little more. And then we'll step back to warrior one. And come forward. You can bring the hands to the knee, the shin, blocks or floor. And pause here for a couple of breaths. The front leg can be bent or straight or anywhere in between. Coming up with a breath in. Again, we'll step onto the front foot, draw the back knee in and up. Lower the foot, raise the arms, take a breath in. Exhale, other knee comes up. Inhale, step back, warrior one. Exhale, arms to the sides. Step onto your front foot. Take your time to find your balance. Lift the heart. Shoulder blades move in and down your back. You want to find a lift in the heart, but without overextending the lower back. So again, keep that little bit of engagement in the core. You're going to squeeze from the hips down to the toes. Lift the back leg, lift the heart. Maybe lift the arms and breathe. It's stepping back, warrior one. You can keep the arms up if you've lifted them. And then forward bend, any version that works for you. Take a few breaths here. And then again, we'll come up with a breath in. Stepping onto the front foot, bring the back knee in. Foot comes down, arms lift up. And exhale, release your arms to your sides. So we'll do one more just like that. This time we'll have the option of moving that lifted leg into warrior three. So again, breathing in, lift up with the arms. Bring one knee in. Stepping back, warrior one. Good. Again, arms to the sides just to relax the shoulders as we get set up for the pose. You can keep them there or move them overhead once you're in the pose. You'll come onto your front foot, lift the back leg, lift the chest, and keep that sense of a little bit of a back bend as you come forward. Coming forward is optional. The arms can stay to the side or reach overhead. Breathing here, either version. When you're ready, you'll step back, warrior one. And again, let's add that forward bend. So you can come forward any amount. If you like, you can move the front leg straight and bent. And then we'll come up, bending the knee, lifting all the way up into warrior one. Stepping onto the front foot. Again, the knee comes in any amount. Foot down, arms up, breathing in. Exhale, arms down. We'll do the other side. Breathing in, lifting. Exhale, other knee comes in. Warrior one, breathing in. Good. Exhale, arms to the sides. Shift your weight. Find the lift in the chest, the lift in the leg. And if you like, you can move into warrior three from here. And vary the arm position as you like to find the expression of the pose that works best for you today. Good, we'll step back, warrior one. And then forward bend. And again, you could be stationary or move the front leg a little more bent and straight, inviting some opening and ease into the back of that leg. Great, and then coming all the way up with a breath in. Stepping onto your front foot, bring your back knee in and up. Foot down, arms up. And forward bend. Exhale as you go forward. Inhale, half forward bend, any version. Exhale, full forward bend. Head releasing. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, arms down, sinking into your heels. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, half forward bend, any version. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, arms down, and we'll do one more forward bend and stay for a few breaths this time. Can add the half forward bend. And again, pause in this forward bend. As long as you're comfortable here, you can, any version that works for you is fine. Again, try to release your neck. If you catch yourself, and I catch you all the time at the studio, lifting your heads here and creating tension in the back of your neck. So really let it go. And every time you bend forward, notice, am I holding tension and lifting my head? Okay, let's come all the way up with a breath in. And exhale to release. We'll move into sun salutations now. So again, if you like to have the blocks handy, you can keep them there. And you might be not quite at the front of your mat if you're even on a mat, doesn't really matter, but when we get face down, eventually you want to have some space for your face, and hopefully your mat is well sanitized. This mat's never left the house in the last probably, well, not in a long time. So, coming up with a breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Let's bring the hands to the shins and lengthen. Great, and let's fold forward for a moment and just pause here. Bend your knees a little. Again, you can find a comfortable position in this forward bend as you did a moment ago, and just take a moment to allow yourself to be. There's nowhere you need to go right now. There's nowhere you can go really right now. So hanging out here. And then when you're ready, you'll bring the hands down to the ground. We'll step the right foot back and come into lunge. So as you come into lunge, bringing the front leg, the thigh more or less parallel to the ground, but it could be a little more straight. And then thinking about the back hip moving a little forward, forward hip moving back. And if you like, you can add a lift here. So lifting up. You can stay for a couple of breaths. If you feel like you need to bend the back knee to be more comfortable, go ahead and bend it. And then bring the hands down. And this first time, we'll step back to downward dog. Just walking out your feet in dog. Again, let your head relax. And often I say that when I notice that I'm not relaxing my own neck. So it's not like I can see through your computers. Wouldn't that be scary? Let's lower the knees to the ground and do a few rounds of cat-cow or moving all fours to child's pose, just slowing things down and finding some ease in the middle of our sun salutation here. Take a couple of breaths in child's pose if you like. And then we'll come up to all fours and then downward dog. We'll be stepping the right foot forward. So if you like, you can extend it back first. Remember to move forward on an exhale or the hold after exhale, or if you're me, in the middle of a sentence. So again, moving so that the knee is over the ankle, and you can bring this thigh parallel to the ground or a bit higher. So higher would be back leg a little more forward, lower back leg down further. The further apart your feet are, the harder it is. And then if you like, you can add a lift. Again, back knee bends if you feel a jamming up in your lower back, or straighten the front leg some. You can bring the hands down and we'll step forward. Hands to the shins or out to the side, coming up halfway, and then exhale forward. Inhale, lift all the way. And exhale, arms down. Great. So let's come back to mountain pose. Taking a little pause here. you might feel a little bit of energy in your body. I'm in front of my fireplace. It's not raging, but it's warm in here. It's nice. I can feel my heart rate just slightly elevated. So notice what's true for you. Maybe you're in better shape than me and that didn't touch your heart rate. Or maybe you're now thump, 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 thump. Feel your heels go down, thighs draw up. And feel a little lift through the heart, shoulders relax down and back. And again, we'll inhale and lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward bend, again, any version you like. Exhale, forward. We'll take the other foot. For me, it's left foot, reaching back. And again, from here, if you like, you can lift up in warrior one, in lunge. Good, and we'll exhale and come to plank this time. So plank, a nice flat line from your heels to the crown of your head. So try not to hang your head here. You want it in line with your spine. And really check in with your shoulders. Don't let your shoulders and your torso collapse. If you're not feeling strong enough, bring your knees down. And then find your way all the way to the ground, however you want to get there. So we've done lots of different ways in class. Choose your favorite. Good. And then press down into your hips and your thighs. Pull a little back with your arms as you lift the chest in cobra. Big breath in, exhale, come back down. And slide the hands back. Lift up, either first to all fours or straight to downward dog. Take a few breaths here. And then when you're ready to step forward, your left leg will step forward. So remember, the easiest time to step is when you're exhaling or just finished an exhale. Again, find the position here, feet closer or further apart, depending on how much you want to work, how challenged you want to be. Squaring the hips to stabilize the base of the pose, and then you can lift up into lunge. Good, and then hands down, we'll step forward. Exhaling, head releasing. Inhale, half forward bend, any version. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale to release. Pause here again. Check in with your breath, your heart rate, your mountain pose. And we'll do, it's a very short standing meditation. And it's exactly as it sounds. We'll stand, follow the breath. If it helps, you can imagine your lower body going down with your exhale, upper body lifting with your inhale. Just be present with your body, your breath, as much as possible or comfortable for you. Eyes can be open or closed. Notice where you're holding rigidity, let that go, keeping enough tone to hold the body in a nice, strong, stable position, relaxed enough that there's no tension. Great, so from here we're going to come into an alternating forward bend Uttanasana with the half squat pose Utkatasana. So we'll start by lifting the arms, breathing in. Exhale, come forward, hinging at your hips, let the head release. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, you can bend your knees, either leave the arms up, bring them down, or bring them in the center. And then lift up with the breath in. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, any version of Utkatasana that feels right for you. So wherever your arms are is fine. Lifting up with the breath in. Forward bend. This time we'll stay in Utkatasana for a few breaths. I can't see you, so you, do your best. You can bring the arms down as you need to. It might be interesting to check in with yourself. Are you someone who's more likely to hold it longer when there's other people there also holding it, or someone watching you? Or does it have nothing to do with that? Is it all about feeling in your own body when the right time to come out of the pose is? And I can go both ways. Definitely it's inspiring when others are also being strong with me. So you can imagine each other holding this pose for another couple of breaths, maybe sinking down, maybe lifting the arms. Last 2 breaths. 1, 2, and lift. And release. And shake it out. Let that go. Just take the feet apart and do a few circles with the shoulders, letting the hips move, the head move. Just letting go of any tension that we may have brought inadvertently into the body with some of that strong standing work we've been doing today. Go the other way as well. All right, and then come back to the center. So we'll take the feet a little bit wider apart. And we'll turn one foot all the way out 90 degrees. The other foot, whatever angle is comfortable. We're setting up for Trikonasana or triangle pose. So you want to look down at the knee of the leg that you've turned the foot all the way out. That kneecap should be pointing in line with your toes. And you want to press down into the ball of your foot. You can even lift up your toes to really activate your calf muscles or your shin muscles and pull up on the thigh. And that is protecting the knee. So if we just relax the leg, the kneecap drops, we hyperextend, and we put a lot of pressure on the knee. So keeping that leg active, arms out to the sides. We're going to reach to the side without pushing the hip out to the side. And then let the arm come down wherever it lands without twisting your body. You can turn both palms forward and reach out. So there's no pressure on that lower leg. You're using your muscles. And it's not about going as far down as you can, but feeling strong, feeling really grounded and lengthened here. Let's lift up. You can turn your feet parallel, lower your arms for a moment, maybe just relax, shake out. And we'll go to the other side. So you're going to turn the opposite foot out. The other foot, could be on any angle really. So slightly in is the traditional cue here, but I've seen people be more comfortable with the foot straight or even slightly turned out. It really depends on the shape of your bones and joints. So again, look down. Your front knee should be pointing in the same direction as your toes. Press down into the ball of your foot. Maybe lift your toes just to really activate the shin. Pull up on your thigh. If you feel like you can't be here without feeling hyperextended in the knee, go ahead and bend the knee a little bit. Arms to the sides. Good. Again, you're going to reach without pushing your hip out to the side. So this is the difference, right? I'm here reaching with my torso, or I'm here, boom, letting my hip fall out. So reach, reach, reach. Stay strong in both legs. One arm comes down, backs of the hands, or palms of the hands facing forward, backs of the hands facing back, reaching out and growing long. Right, if you need to support yourself, bend your knee a little and bring your hand down. We'll come back up to the center. Bring the feet parallel to one another. Lift the arms up, breathing in. Bend your knees as you exhale. Bring the hands to the low back, coming forward. And we'll repeat that. So inhale, you're lifting. Exhale to come forward. Okay, coming up this time, we will release the arms down, step the feet in, and we're going to come to sit down on our mats. come to sit down with your feet out in front of you, knees bent, and you can bring your hands behind your legs to lift your spine tall. So you want to be on your sit bones, not on your tailbone. So from the side, you're lifting up. And let's try it first just to roll back. So we bring the weight onto the tailbone and then lift up and find where we leave the tailbone and come onto the sit bones. You'll feel your sit bones roll back, and then eventually you'll feel yourself kind of come onto your tailbone. It may not be so obvious for you, but it is happening when you roll back and then lifting up off your tailbone. So whenever we're sitting, when we're hunched over, we're sitting on the tailbone and jamming the spine. When we sit on the sit bones, the spine is free and we can actually breathe better when the spine is free. The ribs attach to the spine, so does the diaphragm. Things get really jammed up and compressed when we're in that hunched position. Well, let's bring the hands again behind the feet. You're going to come up onto your toes. You can lean back a little bit. Don't roll and round your spine. And then lifting the legs, bringing the knees close together. And if you like, you can let go with your hands. And breathe. Good. Coming forward to release. Stretch your legs out. Give them a little shake. And we'll do that again. So hands behind the thighs, lifting up. So it's almost like you're trying to find a little bit of a back bend here, coming onto your toes, knees close together, lifting your feet, maybe taking the arms, and you could lift the legs a little higher if you feel strong here. Good, bring the knees in. Right, and again, stretch the legs out, give them a little shake. So bend the knees, bring the feet wider this time, and a little side to side to just give the hip flexors a little more movement here. A little twist for the lower back. If you like, you can release the back arm to get a little more movement in the hips. And if you want a bit more twist, you can bring the back hand around behind you again. So you'd go to one side, the opposite hand would lift, come around, adding a twist. So as you come into the twist, you want to think about lifting your spine tall and using your hands against the ground to lengthen. Right, and then we'll come back to the center and stretch your legs out. Give them a little shake. And we're going to come to lie down now. So as you come onto your back, just find a comfortable position. You can have your knees bent or your legs straight. You can let the knees fall together. Just take a moment to let go of all of the effort, all of the movement. We're not quite ready for Shavasana yet. But taking a little mini break to remind ourselves that we don't have to be busy all the time. We don't have to be productive or creative. We don't have to be reaching out to our friends and family all of the time. It's okay to just slow down and let go. We'll spend another minute or two here so you can really sink into being present with yourself here, following the breath. So we'll take a few more breaths here, and if you like, you can start to deepen the breath a little bit. Just re-energizing your body. We'll do a little bit more movement here. Let's start by bringing the knees in toward the body, one hand to each knee. A little forward and back movement, inhaling the knees away, exhaling the knees towards you. And then we'll take the hands around one knee. Doesn't really matter which, we'll do both sides. And extend the other leg straight out. Press out with the heel on the ground, draw in with the knee toward your chest. Engage the muscles of your abdomen and draw your lower back toward the ground. And if it's okay for you, without bringing tension into your upper body, lift the leg that's straight an inch or two off the ground. Keeping your neck, face, and jaw relaxed. Right? And you can very slowly lift that leg up. Bend as you need to be comfortable as it comes up over your hip. You can stay here and circle that ankle around. Right, and then flex your foot, press out through the heel, and very slowly lower the leg again, being again mindful to keep the neck, face, and shoulders relaxed. Lowering the leg almost to the ground. Stay there. Right, and then let's bend that knee, bring it in, and we'll do a few rounds of Apanasana, knees to chest, and knees moving away, breathing in, and then exhaling. We'll take the hands around the other knee and stretch the leg that was bent straight out on the ground, and again, press out through your heel. So leg on the ground to begin with, and then using your stomach muscles to draw in towards the center, keeping stable through the lower back, keeping relaxed through the neck and shoulders. Lift the leg an inch or two off the ground. You can always lower it if you need to. If you find yourself bringing in more tension than you like. And then very slowly start to lift the leg. You might be shaking a little bit by now. You can bend the knee as much as you need to be comfortable here as you circle your ankle around. You could also release the other foot if that's more comfortable too. Circle one way and then the other. And then press your heel up. Engage through the core to again slowly lower the leg. Coming almost to the ground. Pause there for a few breaths. Good. And then we'll bring both knees in again. And this time bringing the knees in. And then extending out. Arms can go to the sides or overhead. And then exhale back into the chest, hands to the knees. So inhaling, expanding, exhaling, drawing in. And then holding the knees, any movement, circling, rocking, forward and back, anything that feels good here. And then let's take the feet to the floor and separate the feet to at least hip distance, could be even wider. Arms to the sides, and we'll let the knees come down to the sides, a little more stretch in the hips here. Knees to one side, knees to the other. When the feet are closer together, it tends to be more twist in the spine. So you can find the position that feels best for you. And then as you come back to the center, we'll bring the knees together. And we'll open the knees away from each other and bring them back in. As you bring them back in, press the knees together, press down into the ground till the lower back flattens, and then let the lower back relax and arch as the knees come apart. So you're exhaling, knees together, pressing into the feet. Inhaling, knees apart, letting the back naturally arch. And then if you like, you can stay for a few breaths. And if you want to support under the legs with some blocks or blankets or cushions or even your hands, for in some cases you can make your hands into fists and bring your fists underneath your thighs, and that might be enough support for you. So you want to find a position where you can relax, where you're not holding the legs there. Either they're being held there because that's just as far as they go and you don't need any support, or you're bringing some support, or keep moving. So knees together and apart is also an option here. So we'll just take a few more breaths in this position. And then slowly bring your knees together. And you can wiggle the feet apart a little bit so the knees stay together now. The feet are apart. Let your hands come to rest on your body wherever you can feel your breath. And again, we'll pause for a minute or two. Just feel the breath. Be present with ourselves. See if you can feel the breath moving down into the area where your pelvis meets the ground. So that sacrum, back of the pelvis area, if you focus, you may feel a little bit of movement in that area with your breath. You may not, and that's fine too. There's obviously no actual breath down in that part of your body, but there is some movement as the diaphragm and the lungs move, the other organs move to accommodate. So there's this whole rhythm through the whole body. You may be able to feel that down in the hips. And then slowly wiggling your feet in towards each other, we'll take one ankle over the opposite thigh. And then you can reach behind the leg that was on the floor to bring your hands behind that thigh. Now, if that feels like a strain or a stretch, or your arms just feel too short, you can use a belt or a sock to make your reach a little longer, or just place your foot on a block instead of on the ground. So here, notice where you feel a sense of being a little bit stretched, or maybe a fair bit stretched. You don't want to feel like you're in any kind of pain. You want to be able to stay relaxed here. And see if when you breathe, you might feel a little bit of movement or something changes in the hip where you're feeling the stretch. For most people, is somewhere around the right hip or whichever leg is crossed over. If you don't feel much, you can try rocking your weight towards the leg that you're holding on to. And then notice how the stretch changes as you breathe, if it changes, or what you're aware of. And then when you're ready, you can release that side. You might stretch your legs out and just give them a little shake against the ground. And then we'll come into the other side. So opposite ankle over the thigh, finding the best version of this pose for you so that you feel a bit of stretch. You don't want to feel like you're pulling apart your hip. If that's the case, definitely back off. So a little bit of stretch, a little bit of sensation, and then gradually adding more as you need it or staying where you are. So finding your breath again. If you want a bit more stretch, you're going to rock towards the side that your hands are holding the leg. Just enough to feel some sensation and notice if anything changes as you breathe. I heard the little beep that I came back on, so I guess I got kicked out, so I was muted for a moment there, hopefully not too long, and we should be back. If you lose my picture when that happens, you just go to the top of your little picture, 3 little dots, you press on that, and then it'll say pin video. So whichever square you want, or sorry, it's not your own square, you go to my square. If my square is only little, you go to my square, you click on the 3 dots and you go pin video, and that will make me big on your screen. A lot of people just listen to me. They don't really look so much at me, so whatever works. So again, I think we got this. We just came out of this stretch. Bring knees to chest. Oh, actually, we were in this position when I got cut off, reaching out. So from there, when you bring your arms down, bend your knees. Right. And then arms at your sides, heels under the knees. We'll do a nice, easy bridge just to lengthen out and release the back, and then we'll be heading from there more or less to Shavasana. So pressing down into your feet, lifting the hips as you extend the arms overhead, breathing in as you lift, exhaling as you lower. You can also do this over a couple of breaths. You might just really take your time. Lifting and lowering, maybe twice more. Okay, and then whenever you're ready to come down and stay down, if it feels good, you can bring the knees to the chest and rock or circle or do whatever movement would feel good. Well, like I mentioned, we're going to move into our last pose of the class, Shavasana. Second last, really, because we usually come to sit at the end, but our last official pose is part of the practice. So you can find your way to whatever version of Shavasana works for you. So it could be knees bent or straight. Just finding your way into comfortable position. Making whatever adjustments you need to any stretches or movements that would feel good before you let go and commit to being still for a few minutes. And then let's come back to the breath. Find your own unique rhythm and flow. Just let the breath come and go without effort, without forcing the breath in any way, without even trying to manipulate or change or direct it in any way. Just be with your breath as it is. Often we're trying to change things. There's this idea that we should be improving. The breath is perfect as it is. Let it be. Let all the muscles around your jaw relax and release. Let your lips and your tongue relax. See if you can bring a little more softening around your eyes and releasing a little furrow between your eyebrows, relaxing the forehead. Let the weight of your head sink down into the mat. And as you do, see if you can find a little more softening in your neck, especially in the back of the neck, into the throat, and then dropping down through the collarbones and the shoulders, letting the arms be heavy on the ground or wherever they are. Relax into the arms and the hands. And really bring your awareness to your hands and feel the deep letting go. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to produce or create anything. You are good enough right now as you are, perfectly imperfect. Check in with your hands again and let go even more. And exhaling, feel your rib cage heavy, your belly and lower back soft. As you exhale, let the weight of your pelvis sink more deeply into the earth. Let the lower belly relax even more. The hip bones move a little bit apart as you relax the lower abdomen. And see if you can find any more ease in the thighs. We worked a lot with the legs today. Can you let them go a little more from the hips to the knees? And then from the knees down to the ankles, calves and shins releasing. Relaxing down into the feet. There's nowhere to go. Nothing you need to do right now. Let that go. I'll share a chant with you. It's one of the many chants for peace. Inviting peace into all aspects of ourselves. Into the earth, peace from the earth, peace from all around. Om. Namo Brahmane Namo Astvagnaye Nama Prithvyai Nama Oshadhibhyaha Namo Vache Namo Vachaspataye Namo Vishnave Brihate Karomi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the beauty of being in your own home is if you want to stay in Shavasana longer, you're welcome to do that. And if you're ready to come back into the outer world, out of the inner world, you can start to deepen your breath a little bit and add movement as you're ready. Eventually rolling onto your side and coming up to sit. Take your time. And again, if you want to keep lying down and just ignore me, feel free. Bringing the hands together, the center of the heart. And I really urge you to give yourself permission to feel and be and do whatever you need to feel okay during this time. And if you feel great during this time, don't feel bad about that. If you feel terrible, try to, do what you can, reach out. I'm here. I know that others are available. And stay safe. Stay good to yourself. Namaste.